Most of us believe we ruin our lives through massive cinematic events. We think failure looks like sudden bankruptcies, public scandals, or catastrophic mistakes. But that solid block of time we call the future is actually constructed from thousands of microscopic decisions. The decay happens quietly, in that isolated hour lost to scrolling. It happens every time you choose distraction over focus. Your potential is dismantled piece by piece through the mathematical repetition of these ignored moments. Since this daily damage is invisible, it creates a terrifying illusion. One day you wake up and realize time moved faster than you ever expected. Years pass while you exist in a permanent before state. The goals you set remain theoretical concepts, and the plans you make never transition into execution. Then comes the jarring realization. You look around and see that the person you were entirely sure you would become never actually materialized. When you ignore the small, daily actions, you quietly forfeit the entire future. We view this as an individual failure, but we must look at the external environment. Modern society is structured to alter your baseline behavior. This diagram illustrates our ecosystem of endless entertainment. It bypasses effort, directly feeding you constant stimulation for a cheap dopamine response. This creates a psychological trade-off. As we consume more, our collective capacity for focus and mental resilience continues to erode. You are operating in a world engineered to make the slow destruction of your own potential feel comfortable and normal. To cope with this environment, many of us rely on a specific strategy. We wait for a spark of motivation before we start moving. As you can see in this decision map, treating motivation as a prerequisite creates a trap. You end up negotiating with your own distractions, looping through delay and stimulation without ever reaching actual execution. The rare individuals who successfully build their lives operate differently. They remove the concept of motivation from their lives altogether. Relying on an unpredictable emotional state to execute long-term plans guarantees a system crash. Exiting this loop depends on how you choose to define a single, often misunderstood word. Society conditions us to view discipline as a form of punishment. We treat it like a chore or a period of restriction we have to endure. But the people who change their lives understand something else. Discipline is actually self-respect in action. When you adopt this perspective, you stop agonizing over whether you feel like doing the work. You stop the internal negotiations with distraction before they can even begin. Discipline acts as an internal shield, insulating your long-term goals from the immediate corrosive effects of distraction. Which brings us to a stark reality. There is no neutral ground. Every day, you exist in one of two states. In the first state, you are intentionally, quietly, and repeatedly building your future. In the second, you are surrendering to the distractions that actively destroy it. Stop waiting for a defining moment. Recognize the micro choices you are making right now and begin building before the damage to your future becomes permanent.